Hi, I'm Andrew Watson from Creative Guitar Studio. It is Thursday, February 25th, 2010, and I'm just going to be going through some questions that have come in from my guitar blog off my website. We're going to start with a question from Laura. She wrote in with a question about pull-offs. She says here, I find it nearly impossible to get a decent, consistent sound doing pull-offs. Can you please help? And I'm just going to grab my guitar and go through this quickly with you. The idea with pull-offs is that there's a fretted note snapping off to either another fretted note with another finger or into an open string. And the idea overall is that you want to snap the note off as sharply and quickly as you can so that you generate the tone into the other pitch, whether that's an open string or a fretted tone. So you can see there I played a note and I snap that finger right towards the floor, and that's usually the main problem with folks. When they go to do the pull-off, I see, and students of mine that I'll work with it, just getting into this kind of technique, their finger moves too much away from the face of the fingerboard rather than snapping toward the floor. You got to learn how to snap that finger into the floor, and then you can see with the finger moving directly down like that, you get the resonance of the other note off the string. So you should be able to I don't even have to pick. I should be able to just flick. You should be able to flick the note off. As an exercise too, a thing that you can do that's really helpful is just hammer on pull-off exercise along one string, and you can do it in position if you want to. Just play once and then snap on and off for each of those tones. That should help. But the main thing is that you have that snap going very much so toward the floor rather than just the finger coming away from the face of the guitar fretboard. Let's go to the next question. It comes to us from Nathan. He says here, I've always liked the Bossa Nova style of rhythm guitar playing, and I've always wanted to learn some of it. I was wondering if you could show some of the basic ideas that are used and maybe some more advanced ideas from this style. Also, a short list of players to listen to would be great. My first suggestion in getting into that style, Latin styles, is to perhaps, if you can meet someone who is maybe from South America, maybe Brazil, or someone from the Dominican Republic, someone that's really used to that style of playing, and begin working with them. If you can't find someone, maybe just go into Google, do a search, and start looking at the ideas of what the clave rhythm is all about. So do a search for clave, it's C-L-A-V-E. Do a search on that. There's different rhythms like rumba, there's 6/8 feel, there's the bossa nova and samba rhythms. But basically, one of the first things I got taught about this is to look at a group of 5 beats and separate them, either going 3 into 2 or 2 into 3. And I'm just going to grab my guitar again and give you an example of what that's all about. Let's say, for instance, you had a chord like A major 7 going into B minor 7. So let's say I did a group of like 3/2. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So that would be the 3/2 rhythm. Then you could flip it and do the 2/3 rhythm, where it'd be 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, that kind of thing. That's a great way to get started into the world of Latin guitar. Just that simple pulse has 5 attacks to it that you're separating either in 3/2 or 2/3. It's a great way to do it. For people to listen to, I would probably say maybe check out a guy named Gabriel Sabo. I watched a documentary that was done about Carlos Santana. You mentioned him. I thought he was a really cool player. Another guy that I've always really liked in his style is a guy named Bolla Sette. I'll put some links in the sidebar that you can check out on these guys. They're just fantastic. Let's move on to the next question, though. Here we got another question coming to us from Portugal. Here's Filipe. I hope I got your name right. I can only name a few chords. I've tried to follow some of the beginners courses I could find, but they're just too basic for me. I feel that when I jump to more advanced stuff, I'm lost without the theory behind me. I don't have the time or the money to find myself a teacher, so what would be your suggestion? Well, my suggestion would be to find a teacher if you can. It's so crucial, I think, to be able to get together with somebody who's got advanced skills, and even if you have to save up your money, maybe save money over the course of a couple of months so you can buy yourself 8 or 10 lessons. And that would be my main suggestion. Somehow find the time, if you're really into this, to do it. If you absolutely can't do that, then maybe you'll have to just really rely on books and online videos, maybe going on YouTube. You found me somehow. There's other guys out there that are doing the same thing I'm doing, and there's a lot of good players on YouTube doing lessons. So those would be my suggestions, basically. I got time for one more question. This one comes to us from another name I can't really pronounce, Cesar. I hope I got your name right. This one is, I study a lot of theory, but I have doubts about the use of modes. I know how they're constructed and their intervals, but I don't understand the way they really start sounding modal. would you please give me some examples about how to write progressions with chords that actually bring out the flavor of each mode, and how to use the modal scales with them. My problem is I can't get modes to sound different from the standard major and minor scales when I play. It's tough to do that. I have a great suggestion for you, though. First of all, let's talk about when you're getting into modes. Each mode has a tonality, and you should know the arpeggio that hooks up to that mode. Like, for instance, if you're doing Dorian out of G major, you have A. Now, you should know A minor 7 arpeggios. You should know those minor 7 arpeggios before, I think, you get into modes. If you're doing, let's say, Mixolydian, and that G key would give you off of a D7 chord. So you should know how to do your dominant 7th arpeggios on the neck, and then move into the world of modes. It's going to give you a lot of your proper chord tones. That'll help you out a lot. Now, the other thing I can suggest is go to the original major keys, 4th and 5th chords. Like, for instance, if we're functioning in G major, go to the C and the D chords, and then just put every other scale tone in the bass under that, and slowly work hard to create all your modal progressions that way. And keep a droning bass note in the in the bass there all the time. The droning bass note will help lock your ear up into the mode. So let me give you a quick example of that, though. Let's say I got an A in the bass. I'm in the key of G major, but I want to work on A Dorian, so I'm going to put under that A in the bass a C major chord as well as a D major chord. You can find your whatever voicings you want to do. So I'm just going to drone out on an open 5th string A. There you go, that's a perfect Dorian mode progression now that you can work to get some sounds together with Dorian. And you can do the same thing, off the next step is B, just put together a progression with B in the bass, keeping the D and the C chords moving under that droning B pitch. Now you got Phrygian, and just keep going along and doing that. If you don't have access fingering-wise to low bass notes to drone out, maybe do it on your computer with a MIDI track, or maybe do it on a synthesizer or something. But that's how you could have some success getting the sounds of modes into your ears and lock them up. So anyway, that's all I have time for today. Hopefully that's helped a few people out, and I'll catch up with you on my next video blog. Thanks a lot.